They say a ruler's true character is revealed not by who they command, but by who they choose to trust. They called them barbarians, savages, untamed beasts of the peaks, but they never understood. When your home is carved from stone and ice, you either become the mountain or you break against it. Where others saw monsters and outcasts, she saw warriors. Where ancient rivals saw only enemies, she built bridges. This is the story of the King of the Mountains, the Lord of Death. This is the story of YoTanWa. High in the peaks where China touches the sky, the mountain tribes had lived as they always had. Scattered, divided, locked in endless feuds. Each peak its own kingdom, each valley its own war. But everything was about to change. When the elders of the Chouga tribe showed their young leader the borders of her domain, they thought they were teaching her limits. Instead, they awakened something greater. Standing there, overlooking the endless peaks, YoTanWa didn't see boundaries. She saw the first steps toward an impossible dream: unification. The mountains don't care about your dreams. They don't care about your ambitions. In this brutal landscape, you either adapt or you die. And the young leader of the Chouga tribe, she chose a third option. She decided to conquer them. Her strength wasn't just in her sword arm, though her blade would become legendary. It wasn't just in her tactics, though her strategies would reshape warfare itself. What set YoTanWa apart was her ability to see beyond the old ways, to build something new from the ruins of ancient hatreds. In 253 BC, she proved it. Facing Shunmen of the Bird Fang tribe in single combat, YoTanWa didn't just seek victory, she sought transformation. When the duel ended, she didn't destroy or subjugate the defeated tribe. She absorbed them, made their strength her own. Even Shunmen, who would challenge her again and again, became part of something greater. Under her banner, tribal markings began to mean less than shared purpose. Ancient blood feuds gave way to brotherhood in arms. They called her king, not queen of the mountains. Because in this harsh realm, titles weren't about gender, they were about power. And YoTanWa? She was rewriting what power meant. Her warriors learned to fight not just as raiders or defenders, but as an army. Each tribe bringing its own skills. Climbers, trackers, berserkers, all forged into something the mountains had never seen before. A unified force under a single vision. In the quiet moments, around fires where tribal elders gathered, the whispers grew. This wasn't just another warlord's rise. This wasn't just another power grab. The King of the Mountains was building something that could shake the very foundations of China itself. Her greatest test of leadership wasn't winning a battle. It came when her warriors discovered a savage they called Beast, a man who lived outside all tribal laws, who fed on human flesh. Where others saw a monster to be executed, YoTanWa saw something different. Raw potential, unbreakable will, a reflection of the mountains themselves. The moment she extended her hand instead of her blade became legend. Not because it showed mercy. Mercy was rare, but not unknown among the tribes. What made this moment extraordinary was her recognition of what Bajio could become. Under her guidance, the beast didn't just become tame. He became her sword, her most loyal commander. The man who couldn't be part of any tribe became the embodiment of her new vision. A mountain people united not by blood, but by choice. Through Bajio, YoTanWa demonstrated her most powerful gift: the ability to see beyond what is to what could be. In the wild man everyone feared, she found her greatest ally. In the outcast, she built her strongest foundation. Their bond transcended words. On the battlefield, a glance was all that passed between them, her will becoming his action. The king and her sword, inseparable, unstoppable. When a young king from the plains below ventured into her domain, YoTanWa faced a choice that would alter kingdom's history. Sei of Qin didn't come as a conqueror. He came seeking allies. And in his vision of unification, YoTanWa recognized something familiar. Their first encounter wasn't just a meeting of leaders. It was a collision of worlds. The civilized king and the mountain sovereign, separated by culture but united by vision. In Sei's dream of a unified China, YoTanWa saw an extension of her own path. For the mountain tribes, allying with a kingdom of the plains wasn't just unprecedented, it was almost unthinkable. Generations of raids, retaliation, and mutual contempt stood between them. Yet YoTanWa saw beyond the past to a different future. When her warriors descended from the peaks to join Qin's campaign, they brought more than just numbers. They brought a ferocity and adaptability that transformed the battlefield. These weren't just auxiliaries or mercenaries, they were the vanguard of a new era. During the Coalition War, when 6 kingdoms united against Qin, YoTanWa proved her worth beyond all doubt. Her forces didn't just fight, they unleashed terror unlike anything the traditional armies had faced. But it was at Shukai Plains where YoTanWa's true value to Qin was revealed. Facing Zhao's fearsome Quanrong warriors, themselves descendants of mountain peoples, she didn't just fight fire with fire. She transformed the very nature of the conflict. When Qin revived its legendary 6 great general system, YoTanWa stood among them. The Mountain King had become one of China's greatest commanders. But her true achievement wasn't just military. It was proving that ancient enemies could become the strongest of allies. YoTanWa's decision to ally with Qin changed the course of history. But what about the young king who convinced her to break 400 years of isolation? Click here to discover how Ei Sei, the king who dreamed of unification, became the man who would change China forever.